What's going guys, Zennosh here, and today in this video of Exos Heroes, let's talk about Fatecore Jinai. Why? Because he's going to debut in Exos Heroes starting October 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fatecore Jinai, the waifu that we had been waiting for a very long period of time, is now finally making her entrance. And wow, just look at her skin right over there. Just look at her avatar. She just looks damn amazing, man. Her artwork is super duper awesome. Anyways, right over here it says noticed. Fatecore chance increase, Supreme Queen, Jinai recruit. Alright, there we go. Main hero. You can recruit hero plus Fatecore with a higher probability than the premium recruitment. Please note that she is a gold Fatecore hero unit. That means definitely she's going to have 0.5% chance of drop rate. And on top of that one, she will be able to be pitted at 28 molded summons. Okay, there we go. The period is going to be starting from October 1st till October 8th, Thursday, 2020, 1:59 UTC. Alright. Main hero. You can recruit hero plus Fatecore with a higher probability than the premium recruitment. And looking into her artwork, man, she is really dashing. I really don't think that anybody really needs to dye her, okay? I mean, like, to color her or paint her or whatever that is, which is going pretty much rampant in Exos Heroes lately. Because she is actually really looking pretty cool already. Fatecore ability right over here. The attack stats boosted by 58 points, defense by 36 points, and health by 194 points. CP is boosted by 10,800 points, which is like, alright, pretty average. Not really that super cool in my opinion. Passive effect, it's known as the Mana Observe 4. So let's see what her passive skill is right now, which has the main changes, okay, compared to her active skills. It says right over here, removes all buffs from targets and gains mana, 1 mana, which I think is one of the most useless type of skills out there, because like most of the buffs comes from the passive skills, and everybody knows that any kind of buff that comes from the passive skills cannot be dispelled, or any kind of debuffs that comes from the passive skills cannot be dispelled, okay? So, well, removing all buffs pretty much is kind of a little bit far-fetched idea. So I really have no, like faith on this passive effect right over here. Gains mana, 1 mana if health of target is at 80% or more, which I don't think is going to happen that often, because like, well, first he needs to remove the buff. Removes 1 buff from the target and gain mana, 1 mana if the health of the target is at 30% or less. Okay, so there we go, guys. Buff increases attack speed of all allies on the same row as self by 20 for 7 turns. Alright, there we go, guys. It's definitely going to be quite helpful, especially in the PvP contents as well. Even in the PvE contents, it's going to be quite helpful. But in the PvP contents, especially in the Zennosh area, it's definitely going to be quite helpful indeed. Being able to improve the attack speed of your allies in the same row by 20 points is really good. Really, really, really good. Being able to go before your opponents is definitely going to give you that extra edge, so that you can set up your skills really good, even before the opponents can have any chance to actually come at you. And especially with the signature force being available right now, I mean, like, if you can mash out a lot of damage on the opponents before they can actually do anything, man, I mean, like, you might actually be done with your opponents before even they could actually lay a finger on you. So those are the possibilities that could happen around. And 20 attack speed boost is superb. Superb. It's really superb. And it says that like she's going to increase the attack speed of allies on the same row. Definitely as a chaos unit, she's definitely going to go on back, and definitely the PvP contents or Zennosh contents, the chaotic units are placed on the back, and most of the attacking units or the offensive units are on the back row. So being able to improve the attack speed of the back row units, or let's say the offensive or the DPS units, is definitely going to be a really good stuff in the PvP contents. So there we go, guys. Really good stuff right over there. But sometimes it might just a little bit backfire in case if your back row allies are actually gonna go faster than the Fatecore Iris. Because like she really needs to provide that +2 mana before your back row allies can actually start dealing heavy damage on the opponents. And if your back row allies are gonna be faster than your Fatecore Iris, in that case, you know, sometimes it might not work as you would actually intend, because having that extra mana is pretty important nowadays, because like with that extra mana, the signature force can work even better. Okay, so that is, guys. Next thing is going to be the debuff that she is going to apply on the opponent as soon as the battle starts. The buff and the debuff that she's going to apply right away decreases the attack of all targets by 40% for 7 turns. The thing is that, like, really? Like, how good is it? I would say, like, in the E-contents, I would say like it's cool. It's cool because like lately with the chapter 12 being introduced, and even in the path of trials, definitely you would want to see the attack of the opponents being decreased, so that like you have more survival rate, or let's say durability of your team while you are going on for a long battle against the opponents in the path of trials and the chapter 12, or let's say even the Upir's Labyrinth, right? That would be really good indeed. Being able to sustain your entire team against the opponents, definitely gonna be good. But in the PvP contents, it seems good, but I would say like not really, because it really cannot affect the signature force, and right now the meta is signature force. Okay, so if it cannot really hamper any portion of the signature force damages, then I would say like nah. Because like even those units, like let's say Fatecore Deva, who has so pathetic amount of damage with their skills, they are dealing massive damages with their skills thanks to the signature force. So usually the skill, like the character's own damage really does not have to do a lot of things lately. Okay, it's the signature force that is totally independent damage. Think about it. All right. So well. And there's like this extra thing going on around with the buff can't be removed. That's cool, because it's passive stuff. Okay, if something is gonna be applied passively, it definitely cannot be dispelled. It cannot be removed. It's common sense already. Increases 2 attack speed per buff removed. So if she somehow manages to remove the buff, if the opponent has a buff in the first place, then in that case, yes, she's going to improve the attack speed even further. That means she has this potential to improve the team even further and further and further. All right, and same goes with the debuff as well. Can be removed and decreases by extra 2% per buff removed. So well, the targets could actually start to lose their like attacking prowess even further and further, which definitely keeps on improving the chance of the survivability of your whole team, especially in the PvE contents. Okay, so there we go, guys. That's a lot of talk about the buff and the debuff. Now, it's time to talk about the superstar effect. Well, afflicts the attention mark for 7 turns to the target when the skill hits. Increases all damage over time on the target with the attention by 100%. Well, you might be thinking like, whoa, it's going to increase all the damage on the target with attention effect by 100%. But there is a little thing right over here which says overtime effect, okay? So overtime effect meaning like it's a dot damage. So any kind of dot damage that is inflicted on opponents, well, the dot damage is actually going to be doubled. That's what it is really trying to say, okay? Not all the damage, but only those all sort of dot damages. Poisons, burns, right? Something like a frostbite or whatever that is. I don't know all those names, but anyways, overtime effect, okay? And she's also a really good hero unit that is actually quite good at inflicting those overtime effects right over here. Like let's say the stage dominance right over here, poisons target. Yes, she is the one who actually can poison the opponents and causing that 31% damage every turn for 2 turns. But with the help of attention mark, she is going to deal double the damage with this overtime effect. So there we go, guys. That's what it is. Now let's move on to the next stuff. That's gonna be the fan meeting, okay? And people are pretty excited about this. Afflicts the anti-fan mark onto the target when attacked. When she is attacked by any kind of opponent right over there, she is going to afflict that target with the anti-fan mark, okay? And what's going to happen is that triggers double team with all living alloys if the health of the target with anti-fan is at or less than 30% once every 7 turns. It's just like the final hit from Baraka or Jin, because like when they are going to attack the opponent has to have that HP at 10% or lower than 10%, right? But in this case, instead of that 10%, she's demanding 30% or less than 30%, which is a higher, like a bracket or higher range right out there, and it makes this skill even more feasible. And being able to use all the alloys, all the living alloys into the damage once at a time is definitely going to mash out a lot of damage on the opponents. Definitely, it's not going to be able to improve or let's say tap onto that signature force, because signature force is that kind of mechanic that actually can be used with those kind of skills that uses mana, and this definitely is not going to use the mana, okay? And I would say this particular skill is designed in order to counter who? And the answer is, what the hell is her name again? Why did I forget? Read Mary. Yes, Fatecore Read Mary, right? Oh man, how did I forget? Fatecore Read Mary. Sorry about that? What the hell? I just forgot. What? Where's the Fatecore Read Mary? Fatecore Read Mary, right? Oh man. Jesus. Okay. Like that Fatecore hero unit who actually just received that buff that she is not actually gonna be dealt any kind of sort of damage through the active skill effects or any kind of skill effects out there, which is like those active or using those mana. So in that case, with the fan meeting, you definitely will be able to avoid infinite loop of battles with that particular opponent. I think that's Fatecore Read Mary, yes, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so that is it right over there. Sorry about that, I just had some confusion out there. Okay, so well, it's gonna be quite powerful attack indeed, because you are using all your allies in that one particular attack, and definitely it's going to swarm the opponents with so much damage out there. So well, pretty effective right over there, isn't it? But did you notice one thing? Well, she has now lost the charm effect and the flow of mana. Think about it, man. There is no flow of mana, meaning it seems like she's no longer going to be make that +1 permanent mana available to the back row allies, okay? And on top of that one, she's also not going to provide that charm effect on the opponents, being able to decrease their attack speed by up to 30 points. Think about it. So it's a trade-off. I mean, if she would be really retaining those old stuff, those general stuff. I mean, she's a general for God's sake, and she doesn't have that general property. Being able to provide that permanent mana, and also being able to provide that synergy effect called charm on the opponents. Oh, man. She's a general, and she must have that. But, well, right over here, you can see that totally clearly she's not having that general property. So well, most of the players are actually also saying that maybe there's a typo error, or let's say the devs have forgot to mention that particular part in the passive skill effect right over here. How can this be possible that a general, a Jinai, is not having that general property right over there? Or maybe she has made a trade-off, and if she has made a trade-off with her general ship, then well, it's kind of debatable question right over here, that if you are going to select the normal normal Jinai or a Fatecore Jinai, who is better? It's kind of debatable point right out there, guys. Okay, so well, it's really up to you. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys really think about this one. Okay, so right now she is in that silver lining zone. Should we be really picking up the Jinai or the Fatecore Jinai? Okay, so that is it, guys. Anyways, now let's move on to her first active skill, which says Stays Dominance. Oh, okay, it's gonna only require 1 mana, and she's going to deal 51% damage to all enemies. Okay, there we go. That's really cool. I like that. Overtime effect, poison target causing 31% damage to every turn for 2 turns. Okay, so there we go, guys. And with just 1 mana, definitely this skill is very, very viable indeed. But well, what I really have to say to you guys that even as a chaotic unit, she really does not boast to have very high attack speed. Like Dorka, or let's say Baraka, she really does not have that high attack speed, which is really questionable. Okay, her attack speed is only about 36 points. That means she is going to go very slow compared to her allies, and that also means that when it's gonna be her turn, she's going to have a lot of mana by then. So definitely using her second active skill is gonna be more possible stuff right here, guys. And it's named Lost Encore. Active skill number 2, required mana 5 mana, and this skill is definitely gonna be more viable, more compatible with the signature force. Okay, so let's look into this one. All deals 178% damage to all enemies. Okay, looks cool. Overtime effect, poison targets causing 62% damage every turn for 4 turns, and provided her passive skill, she is going to double the damage from her poison skill as well. So a lot of damage to the opponents, but with that signature force, oh my god, she is going to deal so much damage on the opponents. Wow, think about it. 5 mana, man. His first mana is going to be utilized in order to deal that raw signature force damage, and the rest of her 4 mana out of 5 mana is going to deal extra portion of that signature force as damage to the opponents. So a lot of damage can be nuked on the opponents, and possibly she's going to be one of the really good unit out there, because well, I think she's a nature element, right? Well, I gotta see that. She's a nature element, right? Oh man, okay, let's get into the Yeah, she's a nature element, okay? I just got a little bit confused. Sorry about that, man. So that means like she really does not have that problem as battery, okay? Meaning like there's no such thing that could actually counter any kind of damage coming from the nature element hero units. So you're pretty safe right out there. So when it comes to be her turn, she definitely can mash out a lot of damage on the opponents, and you are going to end up having a very happy face right out there, guys. Okay, so that's that. All right, and looking into like other descriptions right over here, definitely as a gold Fatecore hero unit, she has a 0.5% chance of drop rate, and she will be PD'd at 28 core mileages. And now the thing is that like you might be asking, hey Zennosh, are we supposed to really summon this hero unit? And I would say like, well, I will go for her because like she's a general, alright, and I would definitely want to unlock her signature force, and well, she's a nature element type, so no problem with those elemental immunity effects going on around, just like summer blessing on the frost element effects, so no problem with that one around. And definitely she is a waifu, man. Come on, we gotta be loyal to waifu series, okay? And definitely she is the one who is actually leading these banners, okay? So well, I would say like I would definitely love to go with her because like for current meta, it's not these skills, just go, just ignore this, okay? The main thing that we really need is signature force, and to think is that like what we really need to think is that like is she really compatible with the signature force? And I would say like hell yeah, she is really compatible with that 5 mana cost. She's definitely going to mash a lot of damage on the opponents, and with that extra poison effects, definitely she's going to have much easier time in dealing damage to the opponents. And guess what, guys, with this fan meeting, when the opponent is going to approach that 30% or less of their HP, they are going to be nuked with this all ally attack. That double team effect, okay? All the allies are going to just use that final hit on that particular target. Think about it, man. Think about it. It's like a final hit, but advanced form of final hit. So I would say like, yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool, okay? So I would say like, I mean like, yes, it can be quite helpful in order to like counter those tranquil mark effect as well. Don't you think so? Come on, just think about it. I would say it is. Okay, so those are the things that I gotta tell to you guys. Well, for now, I would say like, as a general, you know, like unlocking her signature force actually makes the main priority. And if you have not unlocked her signature force, I would say like go for her. I mean like her skills are not really that shabby, okay? I mean like she has this area attacks, and definitely it can actually make a lot of difference, especially even if you are trying to progress in the PvE contents, later on the PvP contents. It's just good like in both of these situations, okay? And she's pretty good, and she's going to just improve your DPS capacity even further. All right, and that's what I really have to say to you guys. And Jinai is being used so much lately. I mean like everybody is really preferring Jinai because like first she is a waifu, and she is so good at, you know, like channeling out those signature force, especially with Fatecore Deva. So those are the things that I gotta tell you guys. And while looking into your exclusive weapon right over here, would you say that like should you be pulling on this shit? I would say like hell no. No. It's just a waste of cess. 0.5% chance, like why? And then like there's a 28 core mileages, 28 PD summons, like why would I do that? My says are only for hero units, okay, as a free-to-play player. If you're a whale, then well, I really don't know what to say to you guys. It's really up to you, depends on you. But if you are a free-to-play player, don't even look at that Fatecore weapons, okay? So that's all I have to say to you guys. Anyways, this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel. See you guys in the next video.